excited today to share a little snippet of my new book that's coming out on October 5th, Mad Hatter Vampire Prince. I'm very excited for this novella. So the whole story behind this is a prequel to Token Huntress series, but it's also a standalone. So for anyone who is familiar with the character Lincoln, who came in Token Vampire and has been in the book series ever since, everyone knows how crazy Lincoln is. He's an old, crazy vampire, and this story actually inspired me to write about his parents. So this is a series, a novella series as well, predating before any of the characters in the Huntress series. There are a few that you may be familiar with already, but it also speaks about the origins of where they came from into the human world, where Token Huntress is set in the world 2341. So anyway, I'm super excited about this series. It was one of the darker books that I've ever written. It was very twisted, very dark, and it's very action-packed and gory, maybe. But as the title insinuates, Kyran Klaus is Mad Hatter Vampire Prince. He's just crazy, and I love him for it because it was so fun to write. Such a sinister, does whatever he wants, however he wants, crazy, obsessive character. It was really, really fun to write. Anyway, so I just wanted to read out the first page of the introduction to Kyran and his story, Mad Hatter Vampire Prince. So here we go. How in God's name did I get raked into this boredom? I snarled, displeased. I sat on the oversized throne, raking my pointed nails against its armchair. The marble room was bright with white tiles and polished as it always had been. The gold trimming sparkled against the bold glass chandeliers that hung from the ceiling. I comfortably sat from side to side on the cushions that were far too used to my brother's mould instead. For the 8th time that I'm explaining it yet again, your brother had other affairs to tend to, and as first prince, it is your responsibility to step in and listen to the people from time to time, Galador said in his dry and whimsical voice. I flopped myself back dramatically, huffing, annoyed that I'd somehow agreed. I looked up at the old vampire who looked no older than mid-30s. He dressed like an outdated housewife with a spark of boring-ass butler. I grumbled to myself. How had my company fallen so low? I could be entertaining myself in splendour. Instead, I was amusing this old bore. I twisted to look at him at a better angle. I wonder, Galador, I said, now having slight interest in him. Did you change your hair recently? Galador's blue eyes slowly and begrudgingly diverted from the large wooden doors at the end of the exaggerated and lengthy room and fell upon me. He'd been serving my family, more specifically my father and then brother, for hundreds of years. My brother had now been in ruling for 75 years. He stuck to the traditions and old ways of my father, which I found utterly primitive. In retrospect, I stayed away from the throne as much as possible because it seemed painfully boring. You had to ask for permission before killing anyone. We were vampires, for fuck's sakes. We should be able to fuck, kill, and trick whomever we wanted without thinking of the political maneuver behind it. If being on the top of the food chain and ruling over humans were results of this, I wish we just ate every last one. At least the only temptation of fun was the whisper of war amongst our kind. It offered me hope because there were a few stray rebels and kings who knew how to have some fun in this boring world. Galador slid his hand over his sleek blonde hair that was never a strand out of place. No, your majesty, I have not. No shit, because you don't change. None of us do. Now please focus, your first attendee is about to enter. I grumbled in response as with perfect timing the large wooden doors at the end of the room opened wide. I stared past the man that strode in. Beyond his broken posture, the world outside this room was bright and glimmered of freedom. I could be out there minding my own business and crafting my own entertainment. We couldn't stand or preserve through natural sunlight, one of the downfalls of being a creature of the night. But with technological advances, our throne and city had been one of few that crafted a dome over our kingdom. We were able to produce artificial day and night that we could walk amongst without combusting and lumping into a decaying mass. We were no longer simply creatures of the night that could only stalk during the night, but advance to something more. Something— Dear God, kill him! That attire is atrocious, I screamed at the man that was walking towards me. Immediately he looked panicked. Guards, I shouted. They began to move from the sides of the walls on my demand. The overfed man became defensive. How boring. Why did they always plead for their life? How I prayed for the day that a human would be less predictable and a little more exciting, if only slightly. Kyran, Galador reprimanded me. You're in the throne room. You can't so quickly choose to kill a man because of what he's wearing. People have been killed for less crimes in the past, I said, looking over my shoulder at him. The man was an eyesore. Galador was not impressed. I sighed. It'd be so much more entertaining to see the fat man shake in his boots and possibly shit himself. But oh no, Galador was more censored to this leadership business than I was. I sighed again, not because my body needed a breath, but because I enjoyed its dramatic response. I was disappointed that he really wasn't going to let me have any fun during this torturous hour. I waved my hand at the guards, who proceeded to step back. Fine, let the man live. Thank you, Your Majesty. I wasn't aware that it would be Prince Kyran I would be speaking with today. He stumbled over his words, still trying to regain his shallow breath. Icky human. If you had, would you have brought me a gift in hopes that I would say yes to whatever your overbearing request is? I threw my legs over the armchair of the throne, slumping it in, trying to discover any comfortable angle on the tarnished chair. This was already taking far too long. The man offered a timid smile and crumpled his paperwork slightly. Fuck, is he going to give me a presentation? Perhaps so that I don't inconvenience you, I'll come back next month to speak with King Emil, the man tattered. I clasped my hands together in joy. The man jumped, frightened. One of my favourite expressions to see. I think that would work out perfectly. Have a nice day. Without a second of delay, the man walked back through the doors with a speed he hadn't come in before. Kyran, Galador grumbled. The point of this is so you can aid your brother, not to create a backlog of attendees next month for him. You're right. Should I kill him? With Galador's disapproving glare, I knew the answer was no. Such a buzzkill, Galador. When was the last time you had fun? Yay! So, that is the first page for Mad Hatter Vampire Prince. I'm super excited for you guys to read it and share this world with you and hear what your thoughts are. It makes me want to reread it all over again. I really enjoyed writing this one. So I really hope you guys like it too. And pre-order link is attached. It is below. It's $2.99 and comes out on October 5th. I will be having a Facebook party event and release party. So make sure you look out for that. And thank you so much for watching this video and being a part of the Token Huntress world. I'm really grateful. This is what I love doing. So I'm super grateful that I can do this and share this with you. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye.